Let Tommy come up here and talk about what these props are about, and hopefully he can help you understand our show a little more.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Awesome. Well, so for me, a prop in general, like I'll talk to you about what that is. So in marching band and when we're being adjudicated, it's not necessarily a good thing to have a prop, because it increases the risk in what we do, So you'll see plenty of bands that go out and they're very competitive and they have nothing like what you see out here. But for me, one of the voids that I thought Franklin had, I don't know if I've communicated this to everyone, but I probably have, was a real sense of sameness or a lack of identity, like if you were to watch 20 bands in the course of a day, what was really going to be that thing that made it memorable, that really made that particular band stick out in your mind? And for me, a huge tangible part of the design process are props. So like as for my creative process, if I'm allowed to have paint and crayons and pencils, I want to use all three. Some people just want to use a pencil, but I feel like it's an absolute tangible portion of the creative process that can be applicable. So one of the things that I chose to kind of create was something that felt abstract in some instances, but also could feel very concrete, very linear, very tangible. So if you notice in the beginning, all of the textures that you'll see with the props over in the side one corner are angular and dissonant, and it's matching music, and the kids are utilizing them in very unfamiliar ways. All right, and at that point in time, you really don't know what it's about. You'll see the color guard doing some kind of weird rocking thing with them at the beginning. What does it mean? I don't know. Why is it there? It makes us feel uncomfortable. It looks bizarre. When the light flickers on it, it catches your eye in a weird way. It keeps you intrigued. So before we even do anything, you're already invested in the performance. And you're really wondering how it's going to play out. And that's where the beauty in this design really is because it plays out in a logical way that we're able to follow and we can understand the path that we create. Once you realize that each little triangle piece is sort of like a beacon or a place where we've been. So I think this show is about this. I'll tell you what it is. I think they're a group of people, a type of people, a culture of people that I don't know where they're from. I don't know where their journey started. I don't really care where they started. All I know is that for the 10 minutes or whatever we get to take the field, that they start in a completely, in a character that's so far removed from what we like to feel comfortable looking at, that it makes you feel that way, that it really makes you feel off-putting. And so when you get to see each little triangle be placed, it happens methodically throughout the show at really important parts of the storyline. If you notice, even one of the first times when we see the woodwind set over here, all right, you'll notice that there are like 4 or 5 cops stacked behind it, and it's keeping us moving along the same linear progression, all right, as we want the show to move. And those props really do represent the burdens that we carry with us. So if anyone was to ever have anything that you keep closeted, things you keep hidden inside either your mind or your heart or wherever you think those figurative places that we hide secrets are. But the cool thing about it is that every single day we move along with the things that have been troublesome about our past, and we can truly find strength when we're able to use those things to help us to move forward. So we leave those props there as a representation for all of us, for the band, for the show concept itself, to show where we've come from. If it were possible for another band to emerge once we exit, that they'd be able to follow the pathway that we've created. In some ways it's a metaphor for moving out of darkness. In my mind, it's almost a metaphor for Franklin in general. On a national level, we're not yet one of the most recognized names. But every single week, every single time I check my Facebook, I see more and more and more of a presence from this organization. And for me, it's these little things like, yeah, they're props, and yes, it's about the big design, but to me, it's about giving the students an opportunity to be successful. And anytime you are able to heighten the level of the design and heighten the level of sophistication, you're already a step closer to that goal in the eyes of the judging community and the people who get to adjudicate the show. The other huge benefit of it is it really does level the playing field in regards to achievement. So every single person has to be able to eventually play their horn to a very high level, or spin their flag to, or play the drum to a very high level. Equal opportunity here. But what is really hard to do is to sustain that over a level of, or a period of time. So it's a lot more simple if you take some things that are like these props, right? They're two pieces of wood put together, and when you see them in action, they really strike you as being something totally different, you know, and you're able to latch onto these other aspects of the show. And hopefully, in the perfect world, the visual, the music, and the props, and all of that lines up in the right ways to where even if you don't know the storyline, even if you can't tell exactly what every count of it's supposed to be, that hopefully you're able to essentially find a feeling. That's what Michael was talking about earlier. That's what you're supposed to feel, is a feeling. And I think you'll probably be able to visualize it. When you see the color guards start over here and they do the first thing they do, I want you to just try to imagine those props being gone. I saw it today and it was horrifying. All right? So glad we have the props. And I want you to imagine those being gone, and then look at what you would see there. You'd see the color guard doing this, and the winds would be standing there doing this. And we'd be pretty bored, you know what I mean? So I want you to look at just how much more dynamic it makes the show from a composition. And then if you can, the less important part of it, I'm being honest with you, is the story aspect of it. That's for us to know, that's for the performers to latch onto, that's for you to be able to grasp when you see the performance, yes. But you should not be able to look at it and go, all right, I think on count one that was supposed to mean this, you know, or that was supposed to mean that. All right, you shouldn't be looking for that, but look at how, when it all lines up in that perfect, harmonious way, look at how it makes you feel. All right, if you ever get goosebumps on your arms in the middle of something for some apparent reason, think about what you're seeing there. And it could be the fact that there are 40 props or whatever it is, 24 props for the first time in a really clean block. And that was harmonious to you because you saw it and it looked clear. Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir.
So I want you guys to be able to, yes, identify with what it is and why we do it, but I hope that more so you can get lost in it. You know, you can get lost and then just be able to watch it and not have cared why you liked it, but at the end of it, been able to really say, you know, that was a tremendous thing that I was able to witness. So that's kind of what it's all about.